You're facing obviously the leading rusher in the Big Ten, in Barkley, and then a quarterback who has been very efficient, and he also runs. So the 1-2 punch, if you deal too much with the run, they can hurt you with the pass. But then if you focus too much on the pass, they can hurt you with the run.
Absolutely. Very balanced attack. We've faced some awful good players this year, and these two guys are the next in line for that. Very, very talented running back, maybe the most complete, running back in terms of being able to catch the ball in space, and obviously as a true tailback, does a great job of getting his pads downhill. Very, very good balance, tremendous speed, and good player. So really going to be a big challenge for our whole defense to be able to swarm him and to tackle him well. And because of the quarterback's skill set, his ability to throw, and the way that their offense has evolved, utilizing his ability to run and throw, even as you see as the season's progressed, makes it tough, because you obviously have to be able to count for him in the run game because his legs are very effective. Not a big guy, but a very smart runner, very instinctive in the way that he's able to extend plays in the passing game, really force you to be honest and true to your attack on the protections. And if you give him a crease, he'll take advantage of it. And then also just being a good passer, So he's kind of in today's offenses, he's what guys are looking for, to be able to have that combination of the running and the throwing, and he's just got that moxie to him. He's just kind of one of those guys you can just tell that loves to play the game. A lot of respect for him for that, and you can tell he's a good leader just by the way he runs that offense. So quality opponent that is playing really well right now.
When you look back at a game like Rutgers, and that 1 for 16 stat on third down, is that as big as anything for you as a defensive coordinator?
Yes, because I don't believe we've ever held anybody to zero, on third downs, and so for them to only convert one, and that one that they converted was the touchdown right after the fumble in the start of the third quarter. So that was a 3rd and 2 that they converted on the goal line. So to be able to be that dominant in that situation, really, really proud of our players. Boy, they stepped up, and it's like anything else. It's a team effort. It was our D-line getting pressure. It was our linebackers and secondary in both coverage and pressures. We do a combination of those with that group as well, and our coaches. The guys up front and our guys are off the field guys that help us scheme and attack third downs. So just really. Jeff McInerney is the guy that we've hired as a quality control coach that does a lot of study in the film room and helps us with those situations for sure. So, definitely a team effort, but be able to hold a team, I don't care who it is, and they had really improved, against Minnesota in that area. And the quarterback had kind of found his groove and had some big targets out there on the perimeter. So really, really pleased with our guys. And I really believe that was a huge key to our success, just allowing us to get off the field, giving our offense the ball back, forcing those 10 punts because of those 3 and outs, those third down stops were really, really, really key for us. So total team effort by the Hoosiers, and really proud of our guys.
He said that on the field he felt like Marcus Oliver was more verbal and more overt in his leadership than ever before. You saw that too?
We did. Matter of fact, I paused a clip to our staff and said, "That's what it's supposed to look like." You could just tell he was running the defense, grabbing guys, moving them, and he's always been awesome as a person. He just needs to be louder, and just more confident and more in charge, and that's not his natural personality, and so we really had to just kind of pull it out of him. And I was so proud of him, and I wanted to make sure I made a big deal to our staff about that's what it looks like. And then in our team meeting on Sunday, called it out in a positive way and said, "I'm proud of you, Marcus. That's what we need. That's what that position demands." And it's great to hear that the guys recognize that too, because it was obvious to me that he took a step forward. And a lot of it is his confidence and making sure he knows exactly what he's doing, that nobody wants to speak up and then be wrong. That's human nature, So I just feel like as time has passed on and he's continued to grow in his knowledge and confidence of playing, he's able to do that.
There's a play situationally where at the end of the game you guys want to keep the clock going.
Mm-hmm.
T-Gray just basically prevented a guy from going out of bounds.
He did.
So talk about that, but then also the last 2 weeks, that the final drive, you guys have given up what would be, considered to be semi-meaningless scores, but I know they're not meaningless, are they?
No, they're not. And, first of all, your first point about Tigre, obviously in that situation, they didn't have any timeouts left. And so we talked to our players, before we take the field about keeping them in bounds. First of all, a sack can often end the game because it doesn't give them a chance to run any more plays. And then if they catch the football, keep him in bounds, and you can see him right there. That guy's about a yard. Matter of fact, his feet swing around. They go out of bounds, but don't touch the ground, and he keeps that ball in there and almost look like a wrestling movie put on the guy. But just a great heads-up play by Tigre. It just shows you that he understands what we're trying to do, and in that situation. But whenever we meet on Sundays, the first thing I do is always ask them, you tell me, what do you think? Before I say anything, I want to know what their thoughts are after they had a chance to sleep on the game and just what they feel. And they pretty much understand what's going on. And so they talked about giving up a couple plays in the beginning and giving up a couple plays at the end. And so we talked about, the way we start and the way we finish. And so that's 2 weeks in a row where, the game we had a 2-score situation. And, but you don't get the onside kick, they're throwing the ball for a Hail Mary to win the game. So obviously very, very important to understand that we have to finish. And the week before, similar situation. We get that penalty, untimed down. Still, we want to finish. And so both games, even though you're excited you find a way to win, you walk off the field frustrated knowing that we're not finishing. And so to me, you just got to keep emphasizing it until we get what we want. We're not going to, let up on that point. But very, very important to start strong and finish well.
Penn State, when they had Hackenberg, it was more of a pocket passing pro-style attack. Their offensive line didn't function very well in that context. What have you seen, with the spread? Obviously, you changed coordinators. What do you see out of their offensive line playing out?
Well, I think it takes the pressure off of them. I think any time you play this style of offense where you're not just downhill blocking and pocket protecting all the time, and you got a quarterback that doesn't really extend the play with his legs, it just puts more pressure on your O-line. They've got to be better. And so I think in this system, they have a little bit of wiggle room. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to have the perfect protection. He can extend the play. They can miss a guy and you don't even know it. He can account for that. And when you spread people out in today's spread offenses, they can miss a block and maybe wall the guy or just get in his way, and it's good enough. Whereas in the previous system, they had to get a physical push to run the football, and they had to form walls to protect them in the pass game and all the protection, nuances that creates. And so now, as you defend it, you realize that they don't have to have that same kind. Obviously, if they have the better O-line they have, the more effective it can be. But you can function with some guys that may not have that high-level skill set that some would need in another system. So I think their offensive line is playing a whole lot better and they've had some injuries, like everybody has. There's not a team in America that's not dealing with that this time of the year. But other guys have had to step up, and I'm sure they'll have their whole group ready to roll for that.
You're starting to get a little boost from Robert McRae on the edge there. What's that mean?
It's a lot. I think that that was another guy. We try to go through and when you watch the film and we were able to watch it, coming back on the flight and take notes, and then his play jumped out to me because he's a guy obviously that we missed early on and got a chance to get him back, and it just took a while. He missed all spring, he missed all fall camp, so he comes back and he plays, but he's still really not, he doesn't know the system as well, hasn't got a lot of reps. And so now to have a guy with his kind of explosiveness off the edge is a big, big boost. And there was a play on a 3rd and long, another one, where, we were in coverage and he, trailed back on the quarterback and ran him down from the backside. Just a great effort play and raked at the football, almost had a chance to get the ball out, but got the guy tackled. They had to punt again. But just his speed and athleticism, you can't replace that. And I think that getting him to understand his role, understand the system, playing hard every snap, attacking the passer, just gives us another guy that we have to be able to pressure. Because it's always about affecting the quarterback. Making him feel uncomfortable, making him, we talk about we want to stress him mentally and we want to stress him physically. And that's the two things we really emphasize with our D-line in regards to a quarterback, and guys like Robert can add to that because of his speed, his burst to the ball, and because sometimes you can't always dial up the perfect, every little thing, whether it's a blitz or pressure. Sometimes guys just have to win one-on-ones, and he's able to do that. And that's a matter of fact, there was a play before that one where he just beat the tackle off the edge, hit the quarterback, and we almost got a pick off of it because the ball was, disrupted and not thrown because of being hit as he was throwing. That was just a pure, didn't have rush on. We were just calling base front. It was a normal down, and he just simply beat the tackle and got hit on the quarterback. So having Robert back and getting him in the swing of playing at a high level is important for us.
T. Gray has more tackles for loss this season than his previous 2 years combined, and he's also second in the nation in solo stops per game.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of growth have you seen from him in these 9 games so far this season?
Well, I think that he's continued to produce, which is what we expect from him. And but I think in the way we attack, the way we play, we want and expect tackles for loss, and we want and expect our linebackers and our D-line, even our secondary guys, based on the call, to be involved in those. And so he's doing a great job of executing the defense. And he's athletic, he's smart, he cares. He's totally bought in. All those things I've said about him in the past, it continues to be true. So I just feel like the guy at that position, that he's going to be around the ball. He's going to be in position to create those plays. But being in position and finishing them is two different things. And so he's able to do that. And I just feel like that position itself is really a key spot for us in our defense. And he's playing at extremely high level, and he's doing well. I'm very, very proud of him. Thank you. You're welcome.